Hello and welcome to Can I Recycle That? This is the first time we've been on Insta Live, so welcome all of the Instagram followers. My name is Bruce Bratley. I am the CEO and founder of a recycling company called First Mile, and our aim is to help people recycle as much as possible. This is a special Can I Recycle That edition for two reasons. One is we've come over to Insta Live because we've got someone we're interviewing, Mark Yankovic from a eco cleaning company called Eco Delphis. We're doing lots of work with them. And also, it is Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. Today is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. First started in 1970 in the US when 20 million people marched to protest against environmental degradation. So a really big day today, Earth Day. And the theme of Earth Day is climate action. So people getting up and doing something to help the environment. We're obviously in lockdown, which isn't such bad news for First Mile and all you recyclers, because a key environmental action that we're obviously talking about that you can do at home is recycling. So welcome to Can I Recycle That? Happy Earth Day. We're talking about how you can take action, and key thing is how to recycle. And if you've got recycling questions, please send them across. My super assistant, Chief of Production Jess, will be feeding them to me, and we'll pick up all your questions, so don't worry if we don't answer them straight away. Another way that you can take environmental action is buying clean and green eco products. So I'm really pleased now, we're just going to get him in on the call to introduce Mark Yankovic to the call. And Mark runs Delphis Eco, which is, he founded it in 2007, and it makes eco products. Mark, you are there. Welcome.
I'm here.
To the live Can I Recycle That? So we'll go straight in. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. It's a big day today.
Tell us about Delphis Eco and why you set the business up. You've got 2 royal warrants, which is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Tell us what you do.
So Delphis Eco is the leading manufacturer of eco-friendly cleaning products. I set the business up over a decade ago. Being an ex-banker, I realized that there's much more to life and needed to do something that was better for the world. And so here we are a decade later with a range of products, both for the commercial market and for new homes.
Fantastic, great stuff. And how's it going during coronavirus? More people buying more cleaning products, or are you struggling?
It's been nuts. I mean, it's been very, very, very busy. We do make hand sanitizers, we make surface disinfectants. So we've been supplying, and we have customers like hospitals and old age homes. So yes, it's been a challenge trying to keep everybody happy and keep supply rolling. And there have been all sorts of issues on a global basis that have tried to knock us over and knock manufacturers over. But we're here and fighting, and it'd be good to talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you sort of started off business to business in the commercial market, but I think you're now reaching out very much into the home market as well. And is that a recent thing? Has that been good timing with everyone now locked at home and furiously cleaning their homes, or how did that go?
Yeah, I mean, Bruce, very luckily, I know there are lots and lots and lots of losers, and it's really tough for lots of people. But very, very fortunately, if you're in the cleaning game, we're one of the winners, and we're really trying hard to keep product going out, and to help everybody. We launched our retail range at the back end of last year. We were listed in Ocado around Christmas. So if you're lucky enough to have an Ocado account, you can use that channel. But there are other platforms and other retailers that are stocking the products.
Yeah. And then is there time for a plug. Is there a website? Do you have to buy through retailers, or can you buy direct from the Delphis products, Eco products?
You can from us. Ideally, you go to places like Farm Drop, who are an online supplier. Robert Dias, we were in their 100 stores until they shut down. We're on their website. Places like Partridges, there are a number of little retailers that stock the products as well. So yeah, since Christmas, the word is getting out, and we're very lucky. There are lots of people that are looking for an eco-friendly range. And I know we'll talk about packaging, but packaging is important to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can also buy from the First Mile shop, which is shop.thefirstmile.co.uk. So it's Earth Day, and the theme this year, Mark, is taking action. So in your opinion, what's the key thing that people need to do to take action? You don't have to limit yourself to being locked at home, but you can if you want. We will be let out eventually. So what's the key action you think people should take to act on climate change?
Today's massive, Bruce, for all of us. Today's the first Earth Day in what everybody should be calling the climate decade. So this decade is utterly critical for all of us, so that we are focusing on what we're doing to get to the end of the decade and have reduced carbon dramatically. And certainly we've committed to being carbon neutral by the end of the decade. Lots of other big corporates are pushing that deadline out further, but we hopefully will be there before then. But we've got 9 more Earth Days before we need to fix this. So it's really, really important. A really simple thing, I think, to answer the question is, my grandmother, when I was a naughty little boy, she said, treat other people as you would have them treat you. And I think that is a really critical statement for all of us, to think of the environment. Let's treat the environment as the environment would treat us. And if we can all live by that, it's a really simple thing.
Yeah.
The world will be in a much, much better place.
I think that's absolutely right. And I mean, it's crazy really that we knew about climate change in the 1900s. The scientists realized the global greenhouse gas effect of CO2. We've had Earth Day for 50 years, and we're talking about the climate decade now. I totally agree with you, but we really do need to start to take action. The science is done, it's hard-baked. We need no more science. We need to get people off their bums and actually changing and getting on and changing things. So I think that's a really great bit of insight there. We're going to go straight now into a question. This question's featured on every Can I Recycle That so far. And I'm hoping in the world of live Instagramming that you've got a prop here for me, Mark, because I know I don't have one. But can I recycle that? The household cleaning product, Trigger and Bottle, and I'm delighted to say that I'm off the hook this time, and you're going to answer this one. So, how do we recycle these things? There we go. That's the prop.
There we go. Delphis Eco bottle and Trigger. What's interesting and unique about this bottle is that the plastic that it's made from is 100% post-consumer recycled plastic, which means it's single-use plastic free. It is an ex-milk bottle, as you have there. So we've gone out, collected milk bottles, reprocessed them.
It's like we've done this before, look. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, so certainly Instagram's a first for me.
It's like the two Ronnies. Okay.
So the plastic is pretty cool because it's completely recycled, and you guys as the experts can collect it. The reason we haven't put a color in it, and Bruce, you'll be able to tell the kind of viewers better than I will, that sorting and collecting a neutral color means that it's easier for recyclers to pick it up, and then for other manufacturers to use. If they want to make it purple, they can. But we've chosen this because this is the most recycled or the easiest color to collect. Triggers are very complex. These are highly engineered things. Ours have a plastic spring, which means this entire kind of combination can go into the plastic recycling, versus lots of triggers have got metal springs in them. So we've made sure that ours are completely plastic. And the idea we want to try and do with our plastic or recycled plastic bottle is to get to a point where we have got a recycled plastic top. These things are pretty hard to come by, and they're still in the kind of infancy of trying to make them. But we're pushing the market like we push the market on the bottles to create a recycled plastic trigger. But again, they're quite heavily engineered.
So the white one, if you're holding them both up there, Mark, the white one that's virgin, the white one, is it? And then the grey one's recycled.
Yeah, it's only got 40% recycled content. I mean, I think one of the initiatives that we've been talking about for a while, and I think the kind of crisis we're in at the moment hopefully will help, is, we've been saying we should all have a trigger for life. There is absolutely no need that you need one of these and one of these and one of these every time you buy a cleaning product or replace your cleaning product. You should have a very simple, very lightweight top that your product comes with, and then so example, there it is, and then you just put your trigger on it. So we've been calling it a trigger for life. Keep the trigger. They're expensive. The price of the product should go down because these things at a unit cost are really expensive, and they're hard to recycle. So you'll save a huge amount of plastic going into landfill or incineration.
Yeah, and presumably as well, we get a more robust supply chain as well, because we started talking about triggers probably 3 weeks ago. And we've now launched the National Triggers and Pumps and Caps Return Programme because there's problems in the supply chain. And I suppose if we're making less of these highly engineered things, people have them at home or in their offices and they're reused for life, we're going to make the supply chains more resilient. So can you tell us a little bit about what's happened with coronavirus and the supply of these things?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really make this up. The two big producers of highly engineered plastic componentry are.
Oh, I think we may have.
Sorry, you lost me there for a second. So the two places that make highly engineered plastic are Northern Italy and China, both of which have been in utter lockdown.
Yeah.
So Italy is still in lockdown with no real timeline on when they might come back, and China is creeping back and are about to go on their May Day holiday for a week as well. So they're about to go back off on holiday. So it's there's no guarantee that we're going to have these things anytime soon. What that means is that every single manufacturer of hand soap, of whatever it is, lotions, there are no closures. There are no pumps. There are no caps. There's none of this, and it's a real crisis because it is conceivable that in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, there won't be any, and then there won't be any products on shelves. So
I think we've lost them.
I'm back. My phone keeps ringing, which is an Instagram challenge. So people are calling because they want the tops.
That's okay.
So yeah, there's a genuine possibility that the UK manufacturers will run out of tops. So the initiative that we launched and with you guys, which is amazing, is anybody at home, if you have a spare top, please keep it and send it back, because then we can put it on a bottle that doesn't have any, and it's the reality is that it's not going to look perfect, but at least we'll have something to be able to share.
And it's fantastic because it might actually, well, I think it is already raising awareness, and we've had lots of interactions and feedback from the service already. It's raising awareness that it's a crazy world we live in. And just to clarify, even I've got a shampoo bottle here, so even like the sort of the top off a shampoo bottle, is that the sort of thing we want back as well? We can reuse these. I mean, it is actually engineered because it's got like a flip cap like that. So is that good to try and reuse as well?
Perfect.
Great. So if listeners and viewers want to send their caps, pumps, triggers, anything, we'll have a look at it. Send it back. Go to recyclebox.co.uk. And it's a free service. Mark and his company are paying for the returns on the service. So it's a free service, really important. Work with your neighbours, community, obviously social distancing, but get us all your pumps, caps, triggers back to us, recyclebox.co.uk. There's also a link through from Delphis Eco's website. Jess will post all the information after the Insta. It's all on there. Please get them back to us. So that's great, and it's a great initiative to work on there. So we've got a question coming in. How does the take back scheme actually work? So very simple, really. If you go to recyclebox.co.uk, if you've got a small amount of caps and triggers, you can use our free post service, which is on there. It's just simply a free post service. We pick up the cost of postage, put them in an envelope, drop them through a post box, drop them off at the post office. If you've got lots of caps, pumps, triggers, you can even send us the bottles back. We'll get those recycled or refilled. There's a box service. You can buy a box from us if you don't have a box at home, but nearly everyone's going to have a shoe box or an Ocado, so an Amazon box or something like that. So you can just use your own box, print off the label, which we'll provide on the website, drop it off at a drop-off point, or we can arrange to pick up from your home. And the pumps, caps, triggers will come back to us. We'll do a bit of pre-sorting and then get them across to Mark. He'll ship them off to factories to get refitted to product. So it's dead simple. You hardly need to do anything, which is what we like, nice and easy. So there's a key bit of environmental action for you on Earth Day, so which is really good. My next question for you, Mark, is does this eco cleaning product stuff actually work, or is it not as good as the old-fashioned stuff that's being pumped out of port sunlight?
My kind of flag is I'm not a chemist, but what I do know is somebody who likes to drink gin. It's quite simple. When you ferment sugar, you get ethanol, and in fact, if you ferment a sugary plant, you get two things. You get ethanol on the one side, and you get lactic acid on the other side. So ethanol we turn into booze and or fly jets with it, and the lactic acid is a disinfectant. So the reality is that this stuff is super powerful. It's just modern technology, it's modern chemistry, it's looking at it in a different way and going, can we use ingredients that are highly biodegradable, that have less of an impact on you as the user, obviously on the environment, but are super functional. And you're right, port sunlight has been there for a long time, and innovation's probably not its thing. It was 100 years ago, but not anymore.
Yeah, and then some of this stuff's not your product, I don't think, but it's like different colours. Is that just purely dye that goes into the product? It's not making any difference. So you sort of like get bright orange kitchen surface cleaner and purple for the bathroom.
So we've got the largest EU Eco-label accredited range. So we've got the largest DEFRA accredited range in the UK. We were first to get DEFRA accreditation. To get DEFRA accreditation, they look at obviously they look at a whole bunch of things, but the formulation is what is the impact on aquatic organisms. So they go to the bottom of the food chain, and here's one of our products, the little EU Eco-label accreditation, which we have on our bathroom cleaner. So it's about the impact on the bottom of the food chain. Color and scent they biodegrade very poorly. So if you've got a bright purple, super lavender product, it's probably not very eco, because color and scent are not great for the environment. So products that are, yeah, as I say, colorless and mostly scentless are much, much better for the environment.
Great. That's another argument I can use with my mother-in-law to stop having those bloody electronic potpourri things around the house, which I think are killing her.
Exactly. They probably are.
So a couple more questions coming in on Instagram. Someone's asking if the return system is just UK or European wide. Our free post is for the envelopes and for the boxes is UK only, but you can definitely 100% send us things back from anywhere in the world. Just unfortunately, you'll need to pay for the postage, which won't be much, but you can ship them back to us. If you check our website to get the address, and then if you go to a good website to use is parceltogo.com, P2G or parceltogo.com, and it's a international price comparison website, so you can send the parcels to us there through there, but you will need to pay. Another question that's come in now, Mark, and I'm gonna throw this one at you first and see how you get on with it. But there's been lots of talk and things in the media about the government delaying the ban on plastic straws. Starbucks early on in the pandemic stopped people taking in their Keep cup and their Cup for Life and refilling it. And we seem to have moved back to a single plastic world. Do you think this, and I know you've got some good reuse initiatives on commercial products, do you think this move back to, through coronavirus, moving back to single plastics, has it killed reuse? Has it killed minimization? Or do you think we're going to get back to where we were pre-coronavirus?
I turn it around slightly. I was asked to give a lecture at Cambridge University to their master's program in sustainability. And I asked all the very, very bright people in the room to say, you know, when I left banking in 2007, the polar bears were all dying and the polar caps are melting. And then we had the crisis of 2008 and sustainability disappeared for a decade. And so I asked them that question, and the response, which I think, which I'm hoping is the case, is that in that decade and where we are today is we now have teams of people that are focusing on sustainability. Yeah, I would like to believe that at Pepsi and at Coke, et cetera, the packaging team today is a big team versus the team that was there, 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah. So those guys, I have jobs, they have responsibility, they have objectives. So I think the corporate shift, we've shifted to a new place where actually sustainability is now being embedded into the business. And there are people that have real jobs that are doing this on a day-to-day basis. It's not an ad hoc add-on to somebody else's job. So I don't think that this coronavirus challenge will totally derail the sustainability objective. It might in some places actually make it better. I do think this initiative, should we not have a trigger for life? Yes, we should. Why? Because it's just better environmental sense. And it's cheaper, and there's a supply chain challenge, and we don't need to rely on countries millions of miles away to be able to supply these goods. So I think in that respect, there'll be local sourcing will come out of it. There'll be a huge shift and change that will be fundamentally better for the environment.
I think that's right. I think, and totally right, get all that, Mark. And I think also the coronavirus has given us sort of a window into what a clean world would like, really, without planes landing on our heads, loads of congestion on the roads, fumes, and some of those images are very impressive from China and now sweeping across Northern Europe, where the air is a lot cleaner. And obviously we're in an unsustainable situation for humankind at the moment, but what we need to do is to get back to having an economy that works and people out and about, but without going back to that dirty world. So I think we're going to get a fresh impetus, because people have sort of it's almost like being in a movie set, and we can see what the world might look like. We need to get back to it. So I think it's really good. I'm going to do two more questions. So if anyone's got a burning question for Mark, he won't be here next week. I will be. So post your question for Mark. I've got one last one here. Does all of the bottle get recycled, or only the pump can it be recycled? So the bottle itself, I'll answer that one really quickly. Absolutely, the bottle gets recycled over and over again. The great thing, this is actually nicely leading into My final question for Mark, really. The bottle can get recycled over and over again. So it starts off as a milk bottle. The milk bottles are collected, made into one of Mark's cleaning product bottles, which is made out of HDPE plastic, one there, and that can be recycled again because it's nice, clean plastic, and it's not been stuffed full of colours, which make it harder to recycle. With that, Mark, do you just want to give us a brief plug, and then we'll wrap up on the PCR initiative that you launched in 2019, and what that Mark is all about?
Yeah, thanks. So we were in a party of one, fighting the government and fighting recyclers and waste collectors and everybody else, saying, please, we know that we should be buying UK collected and recycled plastic, and incredibly hard to come by. So when we achieved it, and I, pre this call, I worked out, since we've moved to 100% recycled bottles, we've probably saved 1 million bottles going into landfill, single-use plastic going into landfill, which is pretty cool, and thousands of tons of carbon has been saved.
Yeah.
But we launched this recycled plastic rating, so RPR, which is a little rating which we put on our bottles, which basically talks about the total recycled plastic content of a bottle. And we're asking anybody who's a manufacturer to kind of sign up and say, do you have recycled content in your packaging? Because nobody talks about, has it got recycling content? They talk about, is it recyclable? Yeah. And in reality, the recycle rates are so poor that if we talk about, we turn the tens to, has it been recycled? Consumers will then go, okay, great, I want that product because it's been recycled versus it might or might not be recyclable. Yeah. And it's the mass balance. So it's basically the trigger, the bottle, the label, everything else is all calculated together to tell you what the percentage is. And we presented it to the government, and we've said to the government, this is the mark that they should be looking to adopt for the plastic tax that they are bringing out. We've spoken to a bunch of manufacturers, and they all love it. Yeah. So I think we'll see it on more products soon.
And it's so key as well, because one of the questions we have all the time on can I recycle that is, what does this label mean? Can I recycle it? What does the Grundpunkt mean? There's so many labels on there. Everybody's totally confused. I think the manufacturers are confused. I think it's really important. We're going to do a special. Can I recycle that all on labels on packaging? So we'll definitely feature RPR, and that's a great initiative. So just going to wrap up now. First of all, I'm going to say thank you very much, Mark. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you very much. You've answered all the questions brilliantly. It's made my life massively easy having somebody who's so knowledgeable on here. Couple of quick questions to close off. Will your products be harmful to my family? Mark, you can answer that.
No.
No, they'll be good for your family because they'll make you healthier, cleaner, and much happier than using an eco product. Where can I buy Delphis? You can buy Delphis, search it up on lots of retailers, Ocado. You can also buy it at shop.thefirstmile.co.uk. And the details for sending us back your caps, pumps and triggers is recyclebox.co.uk. All one word, recyclebox.co.uk. That's the end. We'll be back next week at 12 o'clock. We'll either be on Facebook or Insta. I'm not sure which way we're going, but we'll be cross promoting this program, Can I Recycle That, with me, Bruce Bratley from First Mile. If you are at home and got the rest of the day, this broadcast has finished, but Earth Day hasn't. Go to the website earthday.org. They've got digital stuff going on all day long. You can become a climate expert by the end of the day and get involved. Remember, the theme is action. Go out, switch your lights off, switch your TV off, have a short shower, don't boil the kettle, save energy, save the planet. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.